So if we're going to avoid meat, fish, fowl, eggs, and dairy products, oil, salt, and sugar, what's left? Well, what's left are whole natural foods. So fruits, raw and cooked vegetables, raw nuts and seeds, and then complex carbohydrates. So potatoes, yams, squash, rice, millet, quinoa, beans, lentils, peas. We recommend avoiding the gluten-rich grains like wheat, rye, and barley, just because so many people seem to be sensitive to gluten. 1% of the population actually develops celiac disease, where their body's immune system will attack their intestinal tract. Another percentage may not get celiac disease, but their immune system may attack their thyroid instead. It's interesting that the HLA-DQ gene associated with Hashimoto's thyroiditis, the most common cause of hypothyroidism, is also the same gene associated with gluten sensitivity. And so the theory is that people that eat gluten, some people's immune system will attack their intestines, we call it celiac disease. Some will attack their thyroid, we call it Hashimoto's thyroiditis. Some people seem to have problems with sinusitis or joint pain or other problems. So these gluten-rich products we try to avoid because it'll minimize overexposure to these proteins that can seem to be a problem for so many people. And it turns out if all of your calories come from fruits, vegetables, grains, legumes, nuts, and seeds, with the exception of vitamin B12, you get the vitamins, minerals, fiber, protein, and carbohydrate you need to sustain optimum health, and you avoid the dietary excess that causes people to become fat, sick, and miserable. This diet, when you break it down, comes out to be around 10% of calories from protein, about 15 to 18% of calories from fat, and the balance coming from complex carbohydrates. So we recommend that people limit their feeding window to somewhere between 8 and 12 hours a day, depending on what your goals are. If your goals are to lose weight or maintain weight, 8-hour a day feeding window seems to be helpful. If you're trying to gain weight or you're a high caloric demand individual, young growing person, then we recommend a 12-hour feeding window. And that means no food at least 3 to 4 hours before you go to sleep at night. And it might mean delaying breakfast so that you can do some exercise in the morning. It turns out that exercise during intermittent fasting may preferentially help mobilize fat stores. And so we divide that usually into 3 meal programs. Why do we eat 3 meals a day rather than 1 meal a day or 1 meal a week or 1 meal a month? And the reason is because your feeding bag or the stomach can only handle so much food, so much volume. And these foods are very high in nutrient density, but very low in caloric density. And so as a consequence, you need to fill up that feeding bag 2 or 3 times a day just to get enough calories in order to meet your long-term needs. Now, you can certainly do less when you're in the weight loss mode because you as long as you get enough to maintain basal function, you'll be okay. Until eventually you've depleted your reserves, and then of course you may need to go to a more aggressive feeding program. And we generally recommend 1 fruit and 2 vegetable-based meals a day. So a person might have, say, some oatmeal and fruit in the morning, maybe a few flax seeds. They might have a large vegetable salad, big platter of steamed vegetables, and some kind of carbohydrate. It could be potatoes, rice, beans, whatever. And we do that. And again, you could reverse the orders of these meals. There's obviously a lot of flexibility. As long as all of the calories come from whole plant foods and they're salt, oil, and sugar free, you're going to get the quantity and quality you need and avoid the dietary excess that's so common today. So fruits, salads, steamed and starchy vegetables. If you're looking for cookbooks that have recipes that are vegan, SOS free, so exclusively whole plant foods that are free of salt, oil, and sugar, the Health Promoted Cookbook Bravo and Bravo Express from the TrueNorth Health Center all the recipes are well tested, exclusively whole plant foods that are SOS free. And if you're interested in learning more about the pleasure trap, the hidden force that undermines health and happiness, you can certainly take a look at our book, The Pleasure Trap.